Hey guys, welcome to Nation Podcast. This week we do not have Dominique with us. He is sick, and by that we mean he is dead.
He is dead. We
killed him. He's dead. So, while Dominique is dead, we will be talking about anime because that's what we want to do. This is the more of an anime-focused episode because nothing besides like a couple things happened in gaming. Like Borderlands 3 was announced. And
Dragon's Dogma Online was announced.
Yeah, like Borderlands 3, they have no Anthony Birch quit, and they have nothing done. So there's that. You can never know. And then they have Borderlands 3, and then what else came out? Not much was announced. Like we had Pokken Tournament's looking good. They've announced a couple more characters. It was Suicune and Pikachu and Gardevoir, right?
Yeah.
Gardevoir. Yeah. Gardevoir. Those are the characters that were announced for that.
I still think Suicune's kind of weird.
Suicune's a weird character. Yeah. Like I get, like he's just a big hitbox to me. Yeah. Like he's like that's just me. He's like a fighting game player.
Every like Tekken, like they always have like the bear guy.
He's like, not the bear guy though. It's just so weird. I just want I want Hariyama and Halucha. Those are my like Hariyama. He should just be doing 100 hand slap all day. And then Halucha will just be like he'll be like what's his name?
The Lucha Libre from Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
El Fuerte.
I
think, yeah. Yeah. So
without the frying pan.
With the frying pan. You should have it. And then, yeah, but what is interesting this week is the spring chart has been compiled and
it wasn't really this week, it was just recently.
Just very recently.
Yeah.
It's getting to everyone's kind of put together the list of the major stuff that's coming out in this spring.
And we have things that we're excited about.
Yeah, we put together a little list here that we can talk about.
You want to start?
How about you start, because you were really excited about Nisekoi.
I am very excited about Nisekoi, because I really liked the first season of Nisekoi, and I just want more, and it's fun and interesting, and I like it.
Okay, so what happens? Like, I've never watched Nisekoi.
Right.
So what happens in it?
It's just like mostly, it's like your average like rom-com type anime, but like harem meet thing. But what happens is like this guy, he made a promise when he was a kid, and he has like this locket to like remember it by, and like the other person has like the matching key to it. Oh, okay. And then it becomes like this whole thing where like
does he have to figure out who has the key?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and it becomes like this big ordeal, and it's like big harem rom-com thing, and yeah.
It's just yeah. But the writing is I take it the writing is what makes it.
Yeah, I do like the writing. I think it was well written, and it's also just so visually interesting to look at.
Do you know who the studio does it?
I don't remember.
I mean, I assume it's just pretty because like all I ever see is pictures of that one blonde girl with the red bow.
Well, she's the one everybody loves. Her and Onodera.
So she's like the Sana of this show.
I think so.
She basically is.
Yeah.
She's clear, far and away the winner. Like by episode 5, you already know. Okay.
Yeah. You actually don't really know who's the winner. Ooh. But I think she's the best match.
Well, that's
personally.
good. Well, I mean, that's good that they don't like just kind of pound it into you. Yeah. Like, well, these girls, they don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like, they're no chance.
Yeah. I'm also excited for High School DxD.
Okay, I'm less excited for that because I know what that is.
Yeah.
High School DxD, I got this one. High School DxD is the lowest form of entertainment in the best way possible. In that it is a super pornified harem show.
That's really outrageous.
That is really it's like kind of a shonen show because there's like one dude surrounded by the girls and they all powers and they all go fight.
But
things.
It's also not a shonen show because little kids shouldn't be watching this.
Little kids should not be watching it. There's lots of bouncing of things. Lots of things bouncing. There's nudity. There's nudity. Constant nudity if you find like the unedited versions. Because his one I don't feel like this is much of a spoiler because this is from like season 1.
Yeah.
His like special technique is like he tears the clothes off of the girls.
Uh-huh.
That's boost. That's like so to me that's such a like
it's the best power.
I totally get why people like it because it's just dumb.
It is.
It's just dumb fun. And it's fun to watch and it's pretty well animated. And it's good to see that it's getting a second season at least.
Yeah.
I know our friend Arnold has been watching that a lot.
He has.
And he's really into Rias Gremory.
He is. Which is weird that he likes this show, considering the types of stuff he usually likes.
Not enough glasses for me. I can't.
Not enough glasses?
Not enough glasses. Like, if Rias walked around in glasses, I might be sold. But she doesn't. That's the problem.
What are you excited for?
Okay. From childhood, I was always a big fan of Digimon. Maybe a little bit over Pokemon. So I'm really excited for this season because they announced Digimon Tri, which is like kind of a reboot, kind of not. If you look at the art style, it seems to be very...
It is very different.
It's just a giant leap away from what it was originally, where it was just kind of cutesy. But that was also a kind of a product of its time.
Yeah.
And I think now the show looks a lot more modern.
Yeah, this one looks like it's targeted more towards the people that watched it as a kid
Yeah,
and then want to
that's what
watch
I'm
it
thinking.
again.
Yeah. And it's basically like the original cast of DigiDestined from season 1, and it's them in high school, and they're like they're like 16 or 17. Because even like, I don't know if you watch a lot of Digimon, but like even like season 2, they were still technically they like if you look up their ages, they were like 13 or 14, the original cast, which means that they were like 10 or 11 in the original series.
Yeah. What's nice about this is that unlike Pokemon, people are actually growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas
There's progress.
Pokemon, where everyone just stays the same age, Ash is like freaking 10.
Well, that's why, like, I mean, with Digimon, they just made like lots of protagonists that filled the same archetype.
Yeah.
Like, there'd always be the goggle kid, and there's always be the sassy girl, and there'd always be the cute girl, and there'd always be like the younger sibling, and they're always like that's how they've always done Digimon.
Yeah.
But like, it's really cool to see that like they're gonna have like all the characters growing up, and it looks like they might be ignoring some continuity, which is good. Kind of like how like GT from DBZ just like doesn't count. GT just doesn't count. We're just making gods. It's fine. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for Tri. They haven't. All they've released is one image. I just want more. Like they've released like a bit of like character art and stuff like that, but that's mostly just like sample stuff. So it's kind of like keeping us chomping at the bit a bit before they release anything.
Yep. There's a couple things we're both excited for.
Yeah, like Yuki Nagato. It's happening.
Yeah, because we both really like the Haruhi show, and we both really like the same character.
Yeah, which is actually kind of rare. We usually like similar characters, but we don't always like the same character the most. But Yuki is just the star that lights the way through the darkness of everything that goes wrong in that show. But like, Haruhi's always been a show about supernatural elements and stuff. But what's interesting about this one is they're talking about, okay, spoiler warning a little bit. Just go ahead like 3 minutes if you don't want to hear about Yuki Nagato and all the stuff. This is about alternate dimension Yuki, which is like normal girl, wears her glasses still, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see how they handle, because I haven't read the light novels or anything like that. We have friends like Isaiah who's read the light novels. But it's going to be interesting to see how they handle having a normal girl and not having Haruhi around with her powers. I don't know how you keep that interesting. Because like, there's still some supernatural stuff. You can see that in Disappearance.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it will be pretty interesting seeing like a less supernatural version of the show. But I am a little worried about how they're going to do it and make it continually interesting.
Especially with Yuki, who's like known to be a quiet character.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on underneath the surface.
Yeah.
That's what makes her interesting. But like having her as the main protagonist
Exactly.
and just like cleaning her glasses or something every episode.
Especially since this Yuki is slightly less interesting than the actual Yuki.
She, by design,
Yeah.
I think, and that's kind of the like. I think they want to build her up as her own character,
Exactly, yeah.
and give her her own time to shine. That's why they're giving her a series,
Right.
because she won't be going through all the same experiences. That's the point. So it's gonna, I'm definitely interested for that.
Yeah, and then there's we can't understand what my husband. I can't understand what my husband is saying. Season 2.
Oh my gosh! So this show's explain the show to me, Dominique. I love this show, but people.
So otaku marries non-anime person.
Yeah. The whole plot is just 3 to 4 minute shorts that are basically comics in animation form of them just living their lives.
Yep.
And it's just interesting to see how their worlds clash a bit. And it's kind of...
And adults look like 5-year-olds.
And adults do look like 12-year-old girls that...
and sound like them.
And sound like them. But no, it's like really cool because like it gets pretty, like it's very funny. And then there are certain episodes that get really real.
Yeah.
For no, like
Yeah.
it's just like the tone, but it's handled so well.
Yeah. It took me a long time to watch this, though. It took you guys forcing me at my own house
to watch it. And then we marathoned all the way up
thing.
to where it is now.
Yeah. And so
because that's easy, because it's like 3 minutes.
But it was very good. It was very fun to watch, and I am excited for season 2.
No, it's cool to see that so many people have supported this show. It's very popular and like a lot of different websites. It's on lots of different streaming. It's getting to be on more streaming services now because it's so easy to stream.
Yeah. And you have one more that you're excited for.
Sound Euphorium, which is by Kyoto Animation, who did shows like K-On!, Beyond the Boundary, loads of other shows. They're my favorite studio. I love them. I'm not gonna, like everything they make. I love. And Sound Euphorium looks a bit more like K-On! Than a lot of their other stuff that they've done in a while. Oh, and they also do Haruhi.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It looks like it's just girls or like a group of. We don't even know if it's just all girls. People in a band of like a high school band. So like with trumpets and horns and everything.
Yeah.
And it's just them doing their band thing. And I'm just looking for it because like you just see like images of it and everything's all shiny and pretty and well lit and.
You're expecting it to be K-On! With a band.
It's gonna be K-On! With a band.
But what happens if it gets real?
Well, if it gets real, that's even better because that's when KyoAni shines. That's when they do cool stuff.
But K-On! Wasn't real.
Yeah, but K-On's the realist. Motherfucking T is the realist. You're gonna have to bleep that. But yeah, no, I'm excited.
Yeah.
What else do we want?
This is looking to be a really good season so far.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of lots of genres are being represented here, and I'm also looking forward to like stuff that we're not even looking forward to. That people are gonna be like, you need to watch this. Spring, I think winter was a little weak. Like we've been watching a couple shows. Like Timothy needs to watch this. But The Rolling Girls is good.
Yeah.
And then there was what else came out this season?
What else?
See, it's just not. Yeah. I just wasn't that excited by this season. JoJo is still going. JoJo's still going.
Yeah.
Which is always cool, but yeah.
I did watch a couple things, but mostly just harem stuff. So.
Mostly, yeah. It's good to see that a lot of genres are being represented this season.
Yeah, and this season seems to be the season of season 2s.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like we have High School DxD season 2, Can't Understand season 2,
Nisekoi season 2,
Digimon,
There were a few other season 2s.
If you can like assume that's like a continuation of like the original series, that's kind of a season 2. It's pretty interesting to see that actually. Yeah, Yuki Nagato just being based off a disappearance.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
My bad.
Oh my. But yeah, no, it's actually really exciting. I think beyond that, we want to talk a little bit about like some of our favorite stuff. This isn't just like based off the spring season. I think we're about done with that. I think this is more just our personal taste, so you can get more of a handle on our likes and dislikes.
Except for Dominique.
Except for Dominique, he's not
dead.
represented. I actually don't know what his favorite anime is.
I don't either.
I need to talk to him about that.
Huh.
If he ever listens to this, he doesn't listen.
As long as we've known him, we don't know what his favorite is.
That's true, because like I know what your favorite is, and you know what my favorite is.
Yeah.
That's really weird, huh? I kind of want to ask him. Anyways,
We're not selfish people.
We are selfish people. We only talk to each other. Anyways, would you like to go first and talk about your favorite anime?
My favorite anime is Bakemonogatari.
Okay, so what is this show about?
It is about people. It pretty much is.
It's funny because it's kind of hard to describe the show.
It is
when you describe it at its base level.
Yeah. It's this half vampire guy goes around solving people's problems, essentially.
Yeah, in supernatural, like Bakemonogatari
in a supernatural
means
sense.
mon-story, like in a cute way. It's like mon-story in English. So like it's like all supernatural and stuff.
Yeah. But very metaphorical, kind of.
Yeah, because they're all like.
If you really look into it, it is kind of metaphorical, but also very supernatural.
Okay, first of all, it's a harem show.
It is.
But it's not what I would qualify as a normal harem show.
It really isn't. It's not like what you would normally see in most harem shows, where it's just fan service all over the place. There's some of it.
Oh, literally the first 10 seconds of the show are just a panty shot.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's very rare, and that's kind of a point. There's a point to that.
This one has more of like a sort of like a story or plot behind it, kind of.
I think what makes it work, and I feel like this isn't too big of a spoiler for the show, is that by the end of season 1 of actual Bakemonogatari, he's with Hitagi.
Yep.
He's with Senjo Gahara.
Yeah.
Also, the thing I do love about this show is everyone's name is intentionally hard to say.
Yep.
Like Hitagi, Senjo Gahara.
Araragi.
Araragi-san. Yeah, Koyomi, Araragi.
Yep.
And then Hitagi, Senjo Gahara. I don't even know how to spell it. Like when I try and write it down, I'm like, I have no idea how to spell this.
Hanekawa Tsubasa.
Yeah, Hanekawa's not that bad to say.
Yeah, Hanekawa's is pretty easy.
She's my favorite character. I wonder why. She's very much like my archetype of a character.
Glasses girl.
Except then she takes off her glasses. That's the problem.
She does.
Yeah, and then I'm like, you're not that interesting anymore. Take off your glasses. Well, actually, like I think what makes the show good is all the characters have so much depth to them.
Yeah.
That it's like very surprising for the genre.
So with most harems, you would normally see like a lot of characters and not a lot about them. Whereas this show, you get really in depth with the character, considering what the show is about.
I don't consider like you bring that up. I don't like usually you get archetypes.
Yeah.
Nerd girl, hot girl, full of herself girl, lolly girl, because you got to have that in there. And this one does. It has Hachiguchi.
Except she's pretty much an adult.
She's pretty much an adult, which is how they get away. That's usually how they get away with it, though.
Yeah.
Fairy Tail does it. And, like they all do. Oh, they're like actually like 500 years old, and they just look like. Well, no, actually this show is too, because it's got what's her name? The vampire girl, Shinobu.
Yeah, Shinobu.
There you go.
She is pretty much like really, really old.
Yeah, that's the plot. That's how you do it. But yeah, no, they have a lot of depth to them.
Yeah.
They're not just their archetypes.
Yeah, and that comes with it being such like a dialogue-heavy show.
I think it's fair to say that we're gonna like spoil some of this. So
Yeah.
you can just go at it if you want.
Spoiler in the title.
Yeah, spoiler warning for
Spoiler alert.
Bakemonogatari and Madoka Magica.
Everything.
Don't, yeah, if you made it to this point and you want to watch these shows, because I'm going to talk about Madoka, by the way. Just stop watching now.
Go away.
You got your
Come back after you watch.
You got your spring anime list. Go away. We'll see you later. Okay, bye. Okay, we're good.
Yeah. So, what were we saying?
You were talking about the characters. You were talking about. I brought up Shinobu.
Oh, yeah, and we were talking about like how dialogue heavy the show is.
There's a reason for that in the first season. Now.
Yeah.
They had no money.
Yeah, they didn't have really much of a budget, so they give you cool shots that don't take a lot of money to animate, and then just put in a lot of dialogue.
Lots of geometry.
But that's what made the show good.
And lots of primary colors.
That's what made it enjoyable to watch. If you're someone that doesn't really like a lot of talking you don't.
There's so much talking.
I
love it.
The show is all talking.
There's like, okay, I would say it's like 85% dialogue and 15% people doing stuff.
Yeah.
It's almost always them talk. And like that goes as far as like the most recent special with Kambaru, who we haven't actually talked about.
Yeah.
It's just like all of her just running around, but mostly her just talking about life, which is kind of strange for an anime.
I still haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it yet either.
Yeah,
it's on my list.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch
but
it.
But it's like a 2.5-hour thing of just her, with like almost no action.
Yeah. Well,
So like you gotta hunker down.
I love her character.
No, she's cool.
Yeah, but despite the fact that they didn't really have a huge budget to animate it, it's still a gorgeous show to watch.
Yeah, because of the use of lighting and the
Lighting,
use of
the
shaping
angles.
and the angle. Oh, hands!
Yep.
Damn it, he's got hands.
Yeah, and nothing is really drawn realistically.
No, I wouldn't say that.
The way their settings are and stuff, it's very stylistic.
Well, it's like what's interesting to me about the set usually is it almost looks like they're out of place in the setting, and it's kind or depending on how dramatic it is, they're being like enveloped by the setting or something isolated.
Which comes with the fact that they're really not like what's around them.
Well, you can see that that is the way that you're saying, because they're never with other. There's nobody. There are no extras in this show.
Yeah,
they're always named characters.
Yeah, and it's just them, and their struggles.
Which helps because it saves money, but also because it's interesting.
Yep.
You are focused solely on those characters at all times.
Yeah, but so that's my favorite show, Bakemonogatari.
Yeah.
The Bake specifically.
Yeah, Nisei. Okay, we can talk like 2 minutes about
Yes.
this. Everything after Bake, while it's still good and we still watch it regularly because we like keeping track of the characters,
Is in our opinion not as good.
because they had
A budget.
money, and that's such a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
But because of them having money, it's easier for them to animate things. They don't have to think about shot composition as much. They don't have to think about all those weird jump cuts that they use.
It's like the difference between reading a book and watching a show, or like the transition from silent films to talkies.
Or Star Wars episode, like the old ones to the new ones, where everything's just style over. I don't know. Like, I still love the show, and I still like watching them, and I'm gonna watch it when the next season comes out, which is in spring.
Is it spring?
I think they talked about spring.
I didn't see it.
They might have pushed it. They might have pushed it. They were talking about it.
Yeah.
They might have pushed it. But like it's just style over presence sometimes.
Although in second
season, I think it goes back to more of what Bake had.
It did have that great opening with.
It's so good. I already know what you're thinking about. You're thinking about this dude with Senjugahara and what's his name? Kaji? Kaiki. Yeah, that guy's fucking creepy.
But yeah,
it was awesome. They're just doing their old like 80s style anime.
That was the best thing.
Cut.
I love that.
That's really good.
But enough of me.
Enough of you? I can talk about me now.
Yeah, you can talk about you now.
Oh,
I'm a good listener. People say that I'm a good listener. Don't touch me.
My favorite show, also done by Shaft, and also done right after Bake, is called Puya Magi Madoka Magica.
Everybody just knows it as
it's just Madoka. Yeah. But that is the show is a magical girl show, which sounds lame and not cool until you start watching it.
Yep, because
and
it's
realize
different.
That it is a deconstruction of the genre, much like shows of the Evangelion ilk that kind of just go into what makes these characters who they are, what makes this kind of genre of show the way it is, and like how would this work in like a realistic way.
Yeah.
I think it's just super interesting. Everything I could want in a show is pretty much in it. The music is done by Yuki Kadra, who is my favorite composer. The art style is super moe, but then gets super dark and has like the settings.
The construction paper,
which they did in freaking they did in PowerPoint. Oh!
And it's so cool.
Get on the and this is done by Shaft, who did Bake. But the reason they have money to do this show is because Bake made them bucket loads. So then they just shoved it all into Madoka.
Yep.
And this made this gorgeous looking show that ends so poorly for everybody, except for like Madoka. Really. Well, I mean, like everyone's happy by the end, but
kind of.
Except for Homura. Who just kind of hates her life and will always hate her life. And it's funny because this show is like called Madoka Magica. And Madoka is the least magical character until literally the final episode where she becomes a god, which is so interesting to me, but also so odd. And then there's the movie of Rebellion, which is the third movie. I don't think you
haven't watched the movie
it
yet.
So I'm not going to spoil it for you specifically. But it's interesting. And it adds stuff to it. It kind of like tries to fill in holes, but also like it kind of adds saying like, hey, maybe we could do more with Madoka at some point and do like another series maybe.
Yeah. I want to strangle Kyubey.
Kyubey? Yeah, he's really like the show is basically, these 5 girls, Mami, Sakura, Sayaka, Madoka, and Homura, who's pretty much the White Ranger / Green Ranger, who just kind of hangs out on her own and just like all rebellious and shit. And then you learn that she's just a cutie.
And there's a reason you like her so much.
It's because she's got glasses, and you
don't know until the end.
And I had a glasses sense. My glasses sense was tingling, so I knew from episode like 3. I'm like, she seems like a character that wears glasses.
I liked what was her name? Blonde girl.
Mami.
Yeah, I liked her.
I just remember her.
And then she dies like.
She dies like episode 3.
Yeah, I was so mad.
But what's cool is that like you see her like come back for like bits and pieces because it's like Homura going through like all these different timelines.
Yeah.
And it's so cool because like you see them in like different places. Like, what if this character had survived until this point, or what if these people had met, and like what if So you get to see all these different interactions in those last few episodes that otherwise you didn't get to see throughout the series. Mm-hmm. I think Kyubey is probably the worst part of the show. I feel like. And this happens in Rebellion too, the movie. The exposition he gives is like Monogatari exposition levels of like just talking through you, making sure you understand every bit of the plan from stage 1 to where you are.
Yeah.
And like, I think that kind of takes away from the show a bit when like the villain has to explain their motives so thoroughly. I think that shows like either their backdoor writing or it's like, you know.
I love it when I'm confused and Morgan Freeman comes in.
And just solves things. Sorry, I'm just gushing. What do you think of the show? Because I've never really heard you talk about it.
Well, I enjoy the show a lot. It did take me a long time to watch it because like everyone's telling me like, oh, this show's so dark, you're gonna love it.
It's not that dark.
Yeah.
I don't know why people. It's good. It's not.
Yeah.
It's darker than what you would think.
Yeah. But like every time I see pictures, they're all cutesy pictures and stuff, and I never
It's so great.
see like the true like essence of the show.
Okay, well let's talk about that real quick. The theme song and stuff like surrounding the show. Like you see the covers of the Blu-ray and you see the theme song.
It's misleading.
It
like
is
school
super
days.
cutesy, awesome little girls running around doing nothing, just having the time of their lives.
And then you get to the show, and people are dying left and right.
And it's like the weirdest juxtaposition. And then like you have Homura who has to go back in time constantly, and it's like.
But it's a
heavy,
great show.
It's heavy stuff.
It's a great show. I don't know if I can watch it again though. I don't know if my heart can handle it.
I still think I would watch like the last few episodes again and then watch Rebellion. I think that adds a lot to like have some context again to where Homura is mentally by the end of the show.
Right.
Because she's kind of the real protagonist.
Yeah.
Madoka doesn't do anything. Madoka
She's
is a vehicle for like saving the universe. She might as well just be a weapon. Like replace every scene where Madoka is in the shot with like a sword and just give it to Homura by the end.
No. Bow and arrow.
A bow and arrow.
Bow
Yeah,
and
because
arrow.
that's what she is.
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't really change much to have Madoka as her own character. It's just it gives somebody like this is film guy going into it. This is giving the audience a chance to have like a portal into the show that is also a tool to the show.
It does give you another character in the sense of like self-sacrifice.
Oh yeah, she's very much like a Christ-like figure,
Yeah.
and Homura is very much the opposite in that she is very selfish. And the reason that Madoka becomes weaker and more reliant on others is because of Homura's original wish to become a magical girl was to protect. She wanted to be the one to protect Madoka.
Yeah.
And that meant whenever she failed and she went back another time, Madoka would inherently become weaker and less self-reliant.
Right.
Because that was Homura's wish. She wanted to be the savior.
Yeah.
I don't
And you wouldn't be able to get that without her being her own character.
Yeah, well, I mean, but like, it's just odd. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's great storytelling. It's just like,
She's more of a plot element rather than a character.
she's a device that is used to further Homura as a character.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
She wouldn't have a reasoning without her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's about it because Dominique is not here and we can't get his opinion on stuff. We may have him on, we may have him talk about his favorite stuff another time. But for now, I think that's about it. Eventually, we're going to talk about our own movie favorites and stuff like that, so you guys can stay tuned. You can look us up on nextgennation.com. Next-gennation.com.
Because we couldn't get nextgennation.com.
And we should be putting up our YouTube sooner or later. So we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.